Welcome to another episode of the Midweek Conversation of First Baptist Sweetwater, where we strive to be the first responders of God's love. My name is Jerry Hendricks, and we're back in studio with our friend, or my friend and yours, Teek Hamilton. Hello, Teek. We're back at it, man.
We are. A couple weeks off. We were at camp, but we're back.
This is the Summer in Review episode.
Nice.
So we've got a lot to review and think about this morning in our staff time. I actually was thinking as we were having our meeting this morning, we could just make this our Advent episode.
Yeah, because Advent's already here.
Well, for a couple of reasons. One, we talked a lot about Advent.
We did.
And we have some really neat things planned for that. And I want to go ahead and put that out there so that others can be just as excited about it as we are.
Yeah.
The second reason I knew that having an Advent episode would work is you're all about Advent.
I love Advent.
You've already started doing Bible studies, haven't you?
I have. Our Sunday morning themes for it.
Well, maybe that would be Midweek Conversation B.
Okay, that works.
We could do that again Thursday or something. Yeah, I'm sure you would be.
I would.
Oh, mercy.
I wrote about Advent Sunday morning. We were talking about lament, and I wrote about my first Advent experience at Cross Point.
Yeah.
So it was a good side of lament.
Yeah. Well, all right, good.
So,
so this is sort of that. First of all, we've been out of studio at
Right.
camp for the last 2 weeks.
18 years.
Yeah, and so we've missed a few times being in here for this conversation, but we're kind of back, and we start to hit our stride again as we get ready to go into the school year, which we have a lot of things coming up, but. We'll finish with those things that are coming up. Let's talk about the summer for a minute.
So, highlight of the summer. What was your highlight?
Oh, gosh. You caught me off guard because I usually ask the question.
Well, I'll tell you mine.
Okay, go ahead.
Watching you at recreation with the kids. Playing recreation with the little kids, and how much excitement the kids got that Jerry was playing 3-ball with them.
Well, I don't know that they were that excited.
Yeah, they were. I was excited. I got great pictures.
Well,
but Stan and Robert did it too. I was watching them as they're kicking the ball, and Debbie, and I got some great pictures of our adults leading out in rec.
So Sunday, I asked you to just put up a few slides.
Yep.
So that our church could kind of connect with the fact that their staff was all gone last week.
Right.
And so one of the slides I did not anticipate seeing was me, and I think it was Emma.
Oh, yeah, running.
Getting ready to play 3-ball, and I'm throwing, and I go, I'll have all kinds of thoughts. First of all, I should not be doing that stuff. Because
there were some dangerous spots out there. I found
Robert
one.
Moore stepped in a hole the first day of rec, I think, and then I told my family, I go, I don't know what happened, but I went all youth minister at rec,
which was fun,
and which means I did say the bad version of youth minister. And don't mention his name.
No,
don't mention his name.
I won't say who it was.
But I got a little over competitive. And me,
no, yours was like a righteous. It's like righteous anger. It was a righteous competitive.
It was. Oh gosh, I'll just put it this way: me and the girls won.
Yes, as well. Y'all should have.
So
y'all left some boys in tears.
Gosh, it was fun, but I was thinking later. I go with my bad knees, and you've been with me at camp when I jumped that time.
And you hurt your knee. That was in
before
Oklahoma.
We even started
Sky
camp.
Ranch, right?
If I don't land just right, it pops out, and I go, I don't know why I decided to do it because I don't do stuff like that anymore, but I did have a blast.
And y'all won, so it was awesome.
And probably a note to self for next year that maybe I should find a different way to engage in the recreation.
I don't know, because once you did, then Robert and Stan did, and they were a blast to watch also.
Well, it was so fun that first go-round that I squatted down as if you wouldn't see me so that you'd go ahead and count me when you were counting off the children. Yeah. And fortunately, all the numbers worked out, and I was on a team, and Lisa was on the team, and all 3 teams were the same size.
Yes.
So we each had a number, and I didn't know because we'd already had one round. Mm-hmm. And then the second time y'all called my number, Lisa and I were the same numbers, and I didn't realize it. And so she went down.
Anyways. Yes, she did. And we got great pictures of that. They're on our Facebook page. You should see them.
Oh, okay. Gosh. Well, no, I'm getting excited and thinking about it. But no, it was fun. I shared Sunday just to deal with, those. I'm not an educator, but my wife has always worked with younger children. She refers to them as littles.
Right.
But that group of littles, that's all they're going into second grade now.
Right.
They were just tiny when I got here, and and so I've just watched them, and so when it dawned on me that was the age group, the youngest group that was going to be at camp, I got real excited.
And they were blasted, and they did really good. I think going in, I was a little worried that's a lot of nights away from family.
Right.
Not usually if they're gone there with grandparents or something like that. But man, they did good, and it was fun watching the older kids kind of help them along and kind of show them the ropes.
Yeah, it was a really good week.
And it was so nice and cool out there. I mean, like maybe the coolest week of the summer.
Well, we've been fortunate that with that week, it's always the last week of June since we've been doing it. This was our
last week of July.
July, fourth time to do it.
Okay.
In fact, this morning on Facebook, I had a Facebook memory from the first year.
Oh, okay.
And so, and then another cool thing about kids camp, you brought Kayleen along
right.
as one of your leaders.
Right. We started that the very first year when we talked about doing kids camp out there. I grabbed the Greenwood girls, and they went with us to help run recreation, all that kind of stuff. And so it's become an opportunity for me to take a couple kids and be able to develop leadership in them and see that develop and see how they do in that situation. So this year when the Greenwoods went, their first time was in 2017 with us. They've been there every year. But watching them kind of train up Kayleen, who will be that next generation of leader for that, that's been because they're juniors this year.
Yeah.
Next year is their last year in between, and so they're training her up to be able to kind of take that torch and run with it. And she did great. It was a lot of fun to watch. And on the way home, I said, well, I thought you would have ridden home with Stacy and the Greenwood girls. And she said, yeah, well, Carson will probably just sleep the whole time. And so I decided to ride with you. And I said, so you chose me as it's better than a sleeping person? She goes, the point is I chose you. I was like, okay, good. But talked the whole way home, and she had a ball. So that was good.
Well, and one other thing I found interesting was she gets there and she goes, I've been here before.
Yeah, she was there as a kid, 2017.
With us.
Yep, with us. She didn't remember you and me. She remembered the guy that handed out candy, Philip.
Right.
Which just proves our theory, candy trumps relationship.
Well, Philip was our camp pastor those first 2 years. And so, but it was a great week. But,
definitely.
And I was just thinking this morning the difference because we were going to be doing some planning for the fall, some start up to the school year stuff, that there was so much uncertainty at this time last year.
Right.
And really, we knew we were going to go ahead and be bringing things back up, but it wasn't just the expectations that were uncertain. It was just knowing, it was the nuisance of it.
Right.
And so and I still don't know. I know we're in another bad place with our COVID numbers nationally and even locally.
Right.
But there is such a different feel to coming into the fall in terms of our plans.
Right. Yeah. It feels like you're getting back to some semblance of normality in the midst of, like you said, the numbers.
Yeah. Well, and then there's been, as we've come along, one of the neat things about summer is even though our numbers on Sunday mornings don't look the same as prior to COVID, we've not had really only a couple of weeks this summer where we've had a drop off from our post-COVID numbers. And so our hope is that would continue to rise as school starts and we all kind of get back on the same schedule.
Right. I think, and we thought about that going in summer, that this is the first summer that's kind of opened back up, and what is worship on Sunday going to look like? Because everybody gets a chance to go.
Oh, yeah.
So is there going to be days where it's just you, me, and Lisa?
And
Jeremy, the four of us.
Well, and one of the major Sundays of concern was July 4th.
Right. And then that ended up being a day where we had new people in the pews.
That's our highest attendance of the summer.
Wow. So
you never know. And this thing that Teak and I do, you never know what you're going to get.
That's true.
I was thinking as we got back from camp Thursday afternoon, right after lunch, I guess, and then kind of start winding down and winding into for the weekend for Sunday, and start to realize that or I started to realize that adrenaline kicks in and the excitement kicks in. And I got to thinking, for me, this is probably more exciting than the new year as far as getting things started, because this is really the sweet spot of activity,
right?
Where we've all been away, and even in normal years, where we get to start coming back. And I know talking to the folks in our church, and we have a lot of them who are involved in school districts and all that they're up and running. I mean, it's whether it's extracurricular activities or what all are getting their classrooms ready. It's starting up pretty fast.
Yeah, the week that we're at children's camp, they had band camp at Roscoe and Sweetwater, and they're out doing marching practice, and it's still July.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think another thing that I've enjoyed this summer, strangely enough, and I have shared every year except for last summer, just the struggle that I have with the summertime and kind of feeling lost. But I've enjoyed the summer message series as much as any one that I've ever done during a summer.
King David.
And so last 2 weeks we've kind of landed on the two of those that I knew that I would kind of struggle with because I'm not used to preaching that way. But the story of David and Bathsheba, and then Nathan's confrontation of David.
Right.
But what I really liked about that, not just, I think preparing it and preaching it was difficult or challenging for me, but I really appreciated how so many of our folks encouraged me with their embracing of the text and the story.
Yeah.
So on the day that I talked about David and Bathsheba, I did ask that people read ahead to that moment that David has with Nathan, because that, Nathan just sets that story up so well, and David's drawn into that story and sees the injustice, and then Nathan informs him that he's the one that he's talking about, and it was just a message that was clear. And so Sunday, almost immediately after the worship, someone said to me, "Well, I know what I'm going to do next Sunday. I know what I'm going to do this afternoon." And I go, "What's that?" He goes, "I'm going to read Psalm 51.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so I think when we talk about how we view discipleship at our church, that's the picture. These last 2 Sundays for me are the picture of that, where we're not trying to teach you something that's independent of anything else that may be going on in your life, but we invite people into a rhythm of study, of intrigue, of following God through Scripture and letting that Scripture speak to their life. And so it's been real encouraging that this series, for whatever reason, seemed to have held that together as well as anything that I've done since I've been here.
It's interesting how things kind of fall into place when we don't even mean it to. Sunday we're talking about lament, so we talk about that. You and do Nathan and David, and then Stacy, I think the week at Bathsheba, was reading a book that had the story of David and Bathsheba, and it's all just kind of falls in there, even though when you don't plan it that way.
Well, and we, I tried to do some investigating after during this I guess the July part of the series, because Sharon teaches children on Sunday morning, and they were studying the same thing.
Right.
They were on the exact same page with us, and I've been following the lectionary pretty close this summer, so I didn't know if there was some overlap there. Other times of the year also, but because it's a story that children can connect with. I think that's part of why it works so well, is that all of us have that familiarity with it from the time we're children. We hear those stories, and they're stories that are easy to remember.
Yeah, definitely.
So, well, it's also been an Olympic year.
It has.
And you've done some Olympic Games with students.
Which has been fun. We've discovered a lot of things along the way, as far as like timing in the summer when you do things. But it's been fun and funny. We finished out this coming Sunday with closing ceremonies.
Imagine that. Olympics have closing ceremonies.
Yep. On the day that they close worldwide, we're closing Sweetwater wide.
Well, good effort, Teak.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's hopefully you've had a favorite part of the summer, whether it's been with us or something else that you got to do. I mean, obviously there are a lot of things that go on in the summer for a family or individuals. But as we
tell us in the comments.
Yeah,
let us know.
Let us know kind of what's been special to you this summer. We got to grill out a couple of times.
We did.
It was more than once, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Seems like it.
I know there was pool party night. There had to be another one in there.
Yeah.
And softball's about to start when we'll have another grill out night.
Oh, my goodness. Moving forward, softball's coming up within a couple of weeks.
Right.
Then we recognize our educators on August the 15th. We have Launch Sunday, which is the Sunday where our children and students go to the next grade level or whatever they're involved in, our Bible study hour.
Then our lunch Wednesday with a block
stuff,
party.
Yeah. We'll begin all that actually starting September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of stuff coming up right around the corner.
Advent.
As we and then it's Advent. Oh, wow. Y'all are going to love Advent. I mean, every year we strive to do something a little maybe eye-catching, even from our decorating and so forth. But couldn't be more excited about the week-to-week worship plan.
Right.
And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, it's been good thinking about this past summer, but it's time to move on. And we'll do that, and we'll see you on Sunday, or we'll catch you at our next podcast next Wednesday.
See you then.
Bye.